Hi everyone, here with your weekly reading. I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot this week. I love this deck, it's really beautiful. So let's see, try to get this somewhat lined up here.
Now let's see what the universe is revealing to you. There's a pattern unfolding in your reality right now where nothing visible is happening on the surface while everything is actually shifting beneath, quiet, still, seemingly uneventful, days passing with ordinary rhythm, routine maintaining itself, external landscape appearing stable, but underneath forces are gathering. Pressure is building, truth is organizing itself, energy is accumulating, all of it moving towards single point of rupture where what's been hidden explodes into visibility, where silence breaks into revelation so sudden it takes your breath. This is the paradox of transformation. The most significant changes often happen in quietest moments. The biggest revelations come from nowhere because they've been forming everywhere in spaces you couldn't see. Calm before storm isn't absence of activity, it's invisible activity. It's everything arranging itself before becoming undeniable. In the specific energy of sudden dramatic disclosure after prolonged stillness. You're living in the silence right now, in the calm, in the period where nothing seems to be happening. But that perception is illusion. Everything is happening, just not where you're looking, not in forms you recognize yet, not through channels you're monitoring. The boom is forming, the reveal is organizing, the shock is preparing its entrance. Let me illuminate what's building in the invisible that's about to become very visible. In the mechanics of how truth emerges, there's often gestation period where reality is reorganizing, but appearances haven't caught up yet. Someone knows something they haven't said. Situation is developing that hasn't manifested. Decision is being made that hasn't been announced. Process is completing that hasn't shown results. All of it existing but not yet visible. It's highly probable you're in exactly that gestation phase currently. Something significant is forming in domains you can't access. Conversations happening about you without you. Decisions being made that affect you without your input. Plans being finalized that include you without your knowledge. Feelings intensifying toward you without your awareness. All of it real, all of it active, none of it visible to you yet. Notice the quality of your current experience. Does it feel too quiet? Too still? Like waiting for something without knowing what? Like anticipation without clear object? This isn't anxiety creating false sense of impending event. This is accurate perception of actual energy gathering. Your system detecting the approach before your mind can identify what's approaching. Some silent periods precede relationship revelations. Someone's been carrying feelings they haven't expressed. Processing internally whether to speak or stay silent. Wrestling with fear and desire. Building courage slowly. And suddenly, without warning, they break. They confess. They reveal themselves. The silence shatters into words that change everything instantly. You might be days or hours away from exactly that kind of emotional disclosure, from someone you suspected or someone completely unexpected, from a person who's been present in your life revealing they feel more than you knew, from person from your past resurfacing with admission they never moved on. The confession arrives suddenly, even though feelings have been building gradually. Others precede professional or financial breakthroughs. Opportunity has been developing through channels you're not connected to. People have been discussing you in rooms you're not in. Doors have been unlocking that you haven't tried to open yet. Resources have been aligning that you haven't requested. And suddenly offer lands, position opens, Money arrives, opportunity presents, seemingly from nowhere, but actually from everywhere. Things were quietly assembling. Watch for communications arriving unexpectedly, calls from numbers you don't recognize, emails from people or organizations you weren't expecting, messages from connections you haven't heard from, invitations to conversations that seem random. These might be the boom breaking through, the reveal making itself known, the silence ending abruptly. This reflection invites you to consider what area of your life feels suspiciously calm right now. Let me clarify what out of nowhere specifically means in energetic terms. Out of nowhere never actually means from nothing. It means from places you weren't watching, from connections you didn't track, from processes you couldn't see, from timing you didn't calculate. The revelation seems to materialize suddenly because your awareness wasn't present where it was forming, but it was forming consistently, deliberately, just outside your field of perception. In the reality of how surprises actually work, they're only surprising to the person receiving them, to the person delivering them, often long planned, carefully considered, thoroughly prepared. What feels like spontaneous explosion to you might be carefully orchestrated, revealed to them. What seems like random timing to you might be strategic timing to them. It's essential you understand that shocking doesn't mean bad. Revelations that come suddenly can be extraordinarily positive. Job offers you didn't apply for, confessions of love you didn't expect, opportunities you didn't pursue finding you anyway, money arriving from sources you forgot existed, solutions to problems appearing fully formed. Sudden good is still sudden. Some people assume shocking reveal must be negative, must be betrayal exposed or bad news delivered or truth that hurts. But shocks can be delightful, can be dreams manifesting faster than expected, can be people stepping up in ways you didn't anticipate, can be universe delivering exactly what you needed through channels you didn't know were open. You might receive exactly that kind of positive shock. Something wonderful arriving so suddenly you can't believe it's real. Something you wanted but stopped hoping for, materializing, completely formed. Something better than you imagined presenting itself without you having to chase it. The shock is magnitude and timing, not necessarily negativity. Or you might receive neutral shock, information that's significant but not inherently good or bad, just truth, just reality becoming visible that was previously hidden, just knowing what you didn't know before. The shock is the sudden knowing, not the content of what's known. This reflection invites you to consider, if something shocking revealed itself today, would you assume it's positive or negative? Let me address what boom specifically indicates about impact. Boom suggests immediate, forceful impact, not gentle landing, not gradual awareness. Sudden arrival that demands complete attention, that interrupts whatever else was happening, that cannot be ignored or minimized or processed slowly. It lands with weight, with presence, with undeniable reality that requires immediate acknowledgement. In the experience of boom type revelations, there's often disorientation. One moment you're in ordinary reality, next moment reality has completely shifted. You're processing information that reorganizes everything you thought you understood. You're standing in same physical space, but psychological space is entirely different. The before and after are separated by single moment of disclosure. It's critical you prepare yourself emotionally for exactly that kind of jarring shift. Not to create anxiety, to build resilience, To recognize that you can handle sudden information even when sudden information is disorienting. To trust that your system knows how to process shock even when shock feels overwhelming. Some booms are confrontational. Someone finally saying what they've been holding back. Truth that's been avoided being spoken directly. Reality that's been denied becoming undeniable. Difficult conversation that's been delayed finally happening. These feel challenging, uncomfortable, sometimes painful, but often necessary. If boom arrives as confrontation is less than #0, 5# is greater than try to stay grounded. Don't react from wounded place. Don't defend reflexively. Don't attack in response to feeling attacked. Breathe, feel your feet. Take moment before responding. Let information land before deciding what to do with it. Reactive responses often create problems that measured responses avoid. Others are celebratory, achievement announced, victory revealed, success made public, recognition delivered, good news shared. These feel exciting, validating, sometimes overwhelming in positive way, proof that effort mattered, evidence that faith was justified, reward for persistence. If boom arrives as celebration, let yourself fully receive it. Don't minimize, don't deflect, don't immediately worry about what comes next. Just be present with good. Let yourself feel joy without contaminating it with fear or guilt or concern. Celebrate while celebration is warranted. This reflection invites you to consider, how do you typically handle sudden, significant information? Let me speak to what you can do during the silence before boom. Stay present. Don't live in future trying to predict what's coming. Don't obsess over when silence will break. Don't create anxiety by constantly scanning for the reveal. Just be here, now, in the actual moment you're actually in. Let future arrive when it arrives. In the wisdom of staying grounded during anticipatory periods, presence is power. When you're here, you can respond effectively to what actually happens. When you're lost in future, you miss present moment clarity. You exhaust yourself preparing for scenarios that might never occur. You create suffering through imagination rather than through actual experience. It's important you use this quiet time productively. Handle responsibilities. Nurture relationships. Take care of your body. Do work that matters. Create art. Learn skills. Be generous. Live fully. Don't put life on hold waiting for boom. Live richly in the silence. Let the silence be valuable time, not just waiting, period. And strengthen your foundation. Make sure you're solid, that you have support systems, that you're emotionally resilient, that you're physically healthy, that you're spiritually connected, that you're mentally clear. So when boom arrives, whatever it contains, you can handle it from a place of strength rather than fragility. This reflection invites you to consider what would make you most resilient when unexpected revelation arrives. Let me reveal what happens after boom breaks silence. Initial shock is just first phase. After revelation lands, there's integration period, processing, understanding, deciding what new information means and what to do with it, letting reality reorganize around what you now know that you didn't know before. This takes time, can't be rushed, requires patience with yourself. In the necessary adjustment after sudden disclosure, many people make mistake of expecting immediate clarity. They want to know instantly what everything means and what they should do, but that's not realistic. Significant information requires significant processing. Give yourself grace, Give yourself time. Give yourself permission to not have answers immediately. It's essential you find appropriate people to process with after boom occurs. Not everyone can hold space for shock. Not everyone can be trusted with sensitive information. Not everyone has wisdom to offer helpful perspective. Choose carefully who you share with, who you turn to for support, who you allow into your processing. Some revelations require action, decisions that need making, responses that need expressing, changes that need implementing. But even when action is necessary, rushed action after shock often creates regret. Take time you need, think clearly, feel completely, then act from integrated place rather than reactive place. Others require only acceptance, no external action needed, just internal adjustment, recalibration, acceptance of what is rather than what you thought it was. These don't demand doing. They demand being with what you now know, allowing reality to be reality even when reality surprises you. This reflection invites you to consider: what support would you need if shocking information arrived today? Let me close by speaking to what this pattern teaches. The silence before boom is teaching you that surface appearance doesn't reflect deeper reality, that what looks quiet might be intensely active underneath. That patience during nothing seeming to happen periods is wise, because everything happening might be occurring invisibly. That trust in process serves you when process isn't showing results yet. May you stay grounded in silence. May you handle boom with grace. May you trust the pattern. Silence is temporary. Boom is approaching. Shock is forming. Silent, silent, then boom. Quiet period is temporary phase before dramatic shift. Out of nowhere, from places you're not watching where things are assembling, a shocking reveal. Information or event that arrives suddenly with significant impact. Truth that's been forming invisibly becoming undeniably visible. Reality that's been hidden becoming impossible to ignore. And your work is presence in the silence, resilience when boom arrives, wisdom in processing after shock lands, trust that you can handle sudden revelation even when sudden revelation is disorienting. Knowing that boom doesn't mean destruction, knowing that shock can be positive, knowing that you're stronger than surprise. Trust this. Trust the quiet doesn't mean nothing's happening. Trust that revelation often comes from nowhere because it's actually coming from everywhere you couldn't see. Trust that your system can process boom even when boom feels overwhelming. Trust that whatever breaks silence you have capacity to handle. Stay present, stay grounded, stay ready. Silence continues until it doesn't. Boom is forming.